My name is Ashley Walton. I am a 15-year-old from Tennessee, and this is my story. Um, Growing up, my dad was very abusive and very neglectful. He was never home because he worked on the oil rig in Alaska. Well, after a while, he quit the oil rig, and he would come home every night drunk as a skunk, and he'd hit us and be very, very abusive to me, my sisters, and my mom. I heard it. I saw it. I was a part of it. And one evening, he told us that we were going over to his friend's house in January. Not even a month later, in December, around Christmas time, his friend tried to commit suicide because he was so damn drunk. He shot a gun inside the house that barely even missed his kid's room. But he still took me over there, and he got drunk with him. Then he tried to drive me and my sisters home, and I was scared. I was genuinely scared. It wasn't the first time he drove drunk with me and my sisters, but it was the worst he's ever been while driving drunk with us in the car. And the next day, a DCS worker came to my house. I had just gotten off school, and I had just got off the bus and was coming up to the house, and there was this white car. Well, we had talked to them, and we still have no clue what brought her there. But we are so glad that she did at the time. That she did. We told her everything, and she told my mom to take us and go. Just go. And so we left. I remember my mom crying, saying, "We have to go back, we have to go back. Who knows what he'll do if he finds us?" I looked her dead in the eyes. I said, "Mom, we can't go back now. The DCS woman has already talked to him. If we go back, it'll be so much worse right now. We need to go, even if it's for a few days." So we go over to my mom's best friend, who doesn't drink and is a really good person. We stayed with her for a few days. I ended up missing school, and I got really far behind. Also, the day that we left my dad, I had found out that my boyfriend, who I thought I loved more than anything, and he loved me more than anything, was cheating on me. That completely ripped out my heart. I only told a few people, some of my closest friends, and the person who told me that he was cheating on me, who happened to be one of my best friends in band, because I'm still a band kid. But after a few days, you went back to school, and you were late because you were living over an hour away, and you woke up late that morning. And so you were late for school, and you go to your locker to grab your books for class, and there are a bunch of notes, sticky notes, in there, piled up in there from your best friends. And I started to cry. Like, they wrote, "I love you," and "keep strong," or "keep staying strong, you're so strong, you've got this," and a bunch of stuff like that. Next thing I know, I'm in class, and my teacher asked me where I've been. I said some personal stuff had happened, but I'm not really in the mood to talk. She goes, "Okay, understandable." Well, I see some of my friends that were in the same class as me that I told get up and go to another class. I'm sitting there doing my work that I missed, and I see all of my friends walking in. And I was so confused. I was like, why are they all here? And then They told me to close my eyes, and they went inside my teacher's closet. Next thing I know, they're standing right in front of me with a giant poster saying all these cheesy pickup lines, because that was my thing in 8th grade. And so I cried. They gave me stuffed animals, and they told me that everything was going to be okay. Then we moved into my mom's work. She worked on in a children's home, and there was an extra cottage on site, and so we took it. We were there for about 6 months, and then our DCS worker came back, and I remember very vividly, I was inside the living room watching TV with some of the girls because my mom had to have 24/7 supervision on us. And so we were with my mom. And next thing I know, there's a police officer, there's my DCS worker, and my GAL standing outside. And I was so scared. I was like, "What's happening, Mom?" And then my DCS worker said, "We're taking you into state's custody. You're going to be in foster care." My heart shattered as I hugged my mom, and I couldn't even ride with my mom to the DCS office to talk to her. I couldn't talk to her about anything. They told me that my mom would meet us at the DCS office, which she did, and I tried to spend every last moment I could with her. I only took a few breaks to tell a few people on what had happened, where I was going, why I wouldn't be able to talk, and why I wouldn't be able to go to school in fall. And they cried. I saw my best friend, who I've never seen cry a day in my life, and she was crying. I got off the phone quickly, and then I went back in the room where my mom, my DCS worker, and this one guy was who did tests or whatever for us for our intake of state's custody. My mom looked at me and she goes, "Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to get you home soon." I had 2-hour visits with my mom inside of a tiny DCS office for 4 months. And my dad got instant 2-hour visits at a park. And after 4 months went by, we finally got to visit my mom for longer and at her house. We had 4-hour visits, and we got to go to my mom's house. And so after that, after 6 months of being in foster care, they finally told me that I was going to leave foster care. But my mom didn't have the room for me at the moment. She was almost done with getting some room for me and my sisters, but she didn't have the room for us yet. So they said that you have 2 options. I either go to another foster home all the way in another city, and it's about 4 hours away, or I go live with my dad full time until my mom gets done. And at this point, I was trustworthy, and they trusted me with texting my mom as long as they were monitored, and our calls were monitored. That way they knew we weren't talking about DCS or court dates or anything like that, anything we weren't supposed to talk about. And I had texted my mom, and I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to have to go live with Dad for a bit until you get room for us." And my mom got so worried, she cried, that in less than a week, which I had 2 weeks to get all my stuff done and all my stuff prepared for it, from foster care to go to my dad's. Well, in a week, my mom had the room ready. She had everything ready for us to come home. And so we went home, and now I'm going 50-50 custody. 1 week at my mom's, 1 week at my dad's, 1 week at my mom's. Back and forth. And I'm still doing that now. And I hate it because I just found out that my dad is drinking again. And I don't know how to feel about it. And we're not even close to divorce court, so I can't even say whose house I want to stay at. Because technically, I'm still controlled by the state. I have to do whatever they say and just roll along with it and be happy with it, even though I'm not happy. I'm not happy with my situation. I want to stay with my mom full time because of my dad drinking still, after he promised me that he wasn't drinking anymore. And I'm so lucky to have one person who can help me through it all. But it's still so hard. And if y'all want update videos, let me know. But it's all so hard. And I don't know how to deal with it. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go. Like I said, if y'all want follow updates and stuff, let me know. Bye.